How you doing? Welcome back to another Dean Colvin Autographs. So, as you have seen from the last video that I haven't posted, that I will before this one, I now own an IFA again. So, not only are we going to be running a Class 2, that's going to be a Kent car only. It's literally strictly club car. Kind of got talked into it by Bazza, and then as you have seen from the last one, Callum, Josh, and I think I worked out his dad's name, Sam. If I'm wrong, just call me a knobhead again. Basically, yeah, I got the car off of them, and an engine and everything like that. The engine had plus 1 mil pistons, and then one night this week I went a bit excited and I was like, I wonder what's in it. So I went over there, and it turned out it had a standard crank that just needed a little clean up. The block was good and everything like that. So I got on the phone to my old mate Danny at Mill Wheel, ordered up some piston rings, and then we're at the kitchen. So as you can see here, got the engine there. So this is going to be like a little step-by-step guide. Oh fuck, unless I drop you on the floor. On how to build a 1300 SR. And you're probably thinking, Dean, you ain't done one of them the other day. But this is going to be a step-by-step guide. So this is going to be from a short block to a long block. How to build it, well, assemble it, shall I say, because all the machine work's all done prior. So the stuff I'll be using for this one, standard crank, 13S crank, just cleaned it up. Obviously you're not allowed to do a lot to them. We got a 1 mil oversized piston, so we've got that, and then we got same bearings as what's gone in Bazza's, just what Danny supplies. I think they're Giant. I've not really used them, so it'd be interesting to see where they go. Then with my one, we're using King Race bearings. I've used King Race bearings or ACL, pretty much same thing. Always had good luck with them. So yeah, the block has already been homed out, cleaned out. I've already done most of this at work. I cleaned it all out, it just speeds the process up a little bit. But as I say, I've cleaned it all, painted it all, but the paint I used is absolutely terrible. It's postbox red. You'll see what I mean with the colour scheme soon. And it's shite, because it ain't what I usually use. So note to self, don't use that paint again. But yeah, so as I say, I've already got the pistons on the rods, because obviously that was already in the block. So what we do, like I say, I just cleaned it already, is we put the mains in first. We do that, and then we move on to piston ring gapping, how to orientate them, what I usually like on a tolerance. If I was building my own engine from scratch, I would usually use a 13 thou top ring and a 15 thou second ring, and then the oil rings are just your rings. Just because I like a tight block. Well, I say a tight block, I don't like a smoky block as such. So, and it just gives you a little bit of wiggle room just in case in future, like, you need another home, like, without having to do your DIY yourself. I mean, actually taking it to a proper shop and having it homed, because it just leaves a little bit of wiggle room, shall I say. I don't usually like going more than 14 and 17. I think 17, might be like 16, 14, 16. I noticed it's starting to get a bit on the smoky side as such. My Corsa B engine that I did before, that was 14, 17. Don't get me wrong, the old girl was a ripper, but she was just a tiny little bit smoky, and I think it was down to the gapping of the rings, just a little bit too tight, loose. But she was an old block. So these are all old blocks. Unless you find yourself a standard one out of a road car, you're stuck with one sort of thing. So the machine work's already done to this one. I don't know who did it. I've just gone over it, make sure all the tolerances are good and everything like that. Everything lines up how I want it, and lucky enough it does. So blinder, worst case, I do have another standard block that I could chuck another set of pistons in and have it all redone. Yeah, so let's crack on really. So this is literally just going to be get a bit of paper towel, clean everything, put a pair of gloves on, and we go for it. So that's how I've already done all the crank and everything like that. Yeah, so without further ado, I'll leave you here. I'll get myself sorted with some gloves and everything like that. I don't usually use gloves, but I'm going to have to on this one. And then we go from there. See you in a minute. Right then, so I'll just pull the bearings together just so it's easier, you know, like it's just put the bearings in and away you go sort of thing. Basically with them, you just got to make sure that, I'll show you on this cap here. So they've got a locator and a cap. So if you look just there, you have like a little bit that the bearing goes into. It's like a little snap groove, and then that has to line up with the other one on the other side. So the bearing only goes in one way. So basically you'll have one little hole, but on the block, which will go on that side, and then on this one you have it on this side. Always make sure your bearings are clean, because on first start up, if you've got anything in there, you're going to run it around and cranking it, and you're just going to have to be back in the same situation you are now, or it just blow up. Simple as that. So always use assembly lube, or if you're starting the engine up straight away, you can get away with engine oil, but because it's going to be sitting around for a little bit, I'm going to use the Lucas assembly lube. All you do, just a little bit in the middle on all of them. Basically just helps so when it's not first start up, it's not all dry. Helps the crank move around, things like that. So as I say, just a little bit goes a long way, as you see just there. So that's the way I usually do it. Other people probably say different, but I've always done my engines this way, and never really had a problem. I've had a couple, but that was just down to me figuring it out, sort of thing. Obviously, you just got if you're willing to have a go, you just got to go for it, you know. It's why I'm paying everyone else to do it, but you never learn. So in my eyes, it's a learning curve. Hence the reason the little DIY we're doing now, sort of thing. So I've already pre-done the crank and everything like that. Just got to get it out of the bag and we put it in. So yeah, as I say, I'll wrap everything up because I want to keep it all clean. So this is an old bed sheet of Dad's that we have over the yard. This, oh, it will come out. There we go. And I happen to wrap it in blue roll as well. Yay me. All this keeping it clean and that. Oh hello, I just realised that you're pointing to the ceiling. Right, that's a crank. It only goes in one way, can't really get wrong. I say that and then someone will get it wrong. So that's in, and I always move it around just to make sure it ain't fouling or nothing. It probably won't at this point, but it don't harm. Hurt. Why I don't wear gloves? Probably won't hurt it, but always like to roll it around just in case. You just never know. And you can just check it then, make sure it ain't gonna have dirt or anything like that in it. I can see that he's not lasting. Right, put a bit on there. bit on there, bit in the middle, bit there, get it on there. Yeah, these definitely ain't lasting. Right, so these are all numbered as well. So this is cylinder 2. So you go 1, 2, and remember what I said about the cap. That literally goes on it like that. And then what we got here? Cylinder 1. Same again. Make sure that's on the other side. Then on that goes. Oh, that clipped in nicely, that did. Then we got, what's this one? Cylinder 2. This is 2. No, it's not. I lied. This is 3. 3. Yeah. Cylinder 3. Goes like that. Oh, yeah. That's all in there nicely. Then we've got cylinder 1. Oh, that was cylinder 1. What an idiot. 1, 2, 3. I'm losing me out now. No, I lied. That was 4. This is 3. This one's got thrush washers on it. So basically, the centre one's always got the thrush washers. They sit on the side of it. You'll see if you are doing this, you'll see what I mean. Thrush washer one goes in the middle, and then vice versa. Then we've got cylinder. So this one's for the rear main seal. So there's a little thing that I do with mine. So before I do them, Febby, OEM equivalent. What I usually do is I cheat. So I usually put my rear main seal in. Oh, hello. Like that. So I put my rear main seal in like that. So your block will end up looking like this. See, we've got the rear main seal in it. So I put that in first. So it saves tapping it in beforehand or after. So then you know for a fact it goes in properly. Always check it, make sure you haven't got like it caught up or anything like that. Yeah, and then with this one, down the sides, you have to use a bit of silicone just down the sides here, just there in the groove, and then that basically stops it from leaking on the sides. Obviously this is where your rear main seal is going to sit as well. Always silicone there, and then just wipe the access off after. If you don't, you will definitely have a headache on your hand, because you'll be like, I've changed the rear main seal, why is it leaking again? That'll be why it's leaking. So let's fill it up. Don't get excited with it like I just did. A little goes a long way. Just enough to fill the gap up in between. And so if you use, you've got to use good stuff as well. If you use shite, it ain't gonna work. It won't work. You'll just be chasing your tail yet again. So that goes in here. Why are you going in? Right, and we're back. So there we go. Get it down there. So there you go. On there. Right, so there's bolts in there. So what I usually do is screw them down by hand, just make sure you know the thread's good. Because if it binds up, it ain't good. You've got to start again, basically. Oh, hold on, bear with me a moment. Oh, sorry about that. That's I'm knocking on the door randomly at 11 o'clock at night. So I'm just tightening these down by hand. Like I say, always tighten them down by hand. Just so you know whether it feels rough or not. Who's messaging me now? Someone on Facebook. Let's have a look. See what we got. Ah, it's old Jack Redford. Winding him up, telling him I'm going to make scrutineering in the morning. I'm making scrutineering in the morning, I'm joking. So, sit down. Sit down. Well. Hopefully, once this one's done. So the Nova's going to come onto the channel first. You're probably bored of Novas, I know, but I want to get it over and done with. It'll be a quick little project, get it over and done with, and then we can move on to the 5. So, right, so this is all basically there, all thereabouts. So we need Newton meters, we need 80. Oh, 80 Newton meters. I usually start on number 1. Then work my way in. Some people probably tell me I'm doing it wrong, but it's the way it's always worked for me. So I'm going to break a habit of a lifetime. And that beeping noise is my digital torque wrench because I'm a tart. Oh, smashing the door up. That's that, 80 Newton meters. So, let's have a look at what we got here. Put the bolt in there. This is what I find out I ain't put the tools in with me. Could be extreme, but yeah. So it all spins nicely. Yeah, mate. No binding. Sounds quite nice, actually. Rear cell's good. Yeah, right. Now we're moving on to the pistons, I suppose. So yeah, let's get on it. Pistons. Bosh. Right. So that's a crank assembled. So yeah, that's the crank assembled on the inside. That's how it moves over quite nicely, spins nice. Also I would put a ratchet on it, but me being me, they're in the van. I thought I brought them in. What have I done with it all? I'll be back, I'll go get the ratchets. Right, so now I've got my tools and that. So if you heard that then, I had like a little squeak. As you can tell now it's gone, so I just quickly did that. basically what it was is the rear main seal. When I put it on, I forgot to put the lube in the inside of it, so it was dry. But as you can hear, turns over lovely and no noise, which is fantastic. Yeah, so we're going to move on to the piston rings now. So let's get you over here. Hopefully, don't go flashy on you again. So yeah, so piston rings. Who we've got messaging us now? Jack Redford. Big shout out JR Signs. I'm winding him up, telling him I'm meeting the scrutineer. So we've gone for a giant piston ring. So these are supplied by Mill Hill. Big shout out Danny Robbins for that one. So I think he said these are all pre-gapped, but I want to double check them anyway. All rings, top rings, secondary rings. I'd say these are 1mm pistons. That's stamped there. So these are like plus 40. Yeah, basically. So with these rings, let's say top rings, secondary rings, and all rings. There is like a proper tool that you can buy to put these on with. I don't use them, as is the point. A lot of people will say you would. Top ring, so top, can't really go wrong. So that faces top of the piston. Second one, top of the piston. If you don't say it on it, basically in the edge there should be like a little groove. See on the, I don't know if you can see there. Just there's like a little groove. This one's called a scraper ring. That one there's your compression ring. And then these ones here are your oil rings. So it's pretty simple stuff. So what we got here, we got cylinder 1. So what I do is I put this one on first. So that literally goes around the bottom as such, like so, and so forth. They got a touch, but they can't overlap. And then what you do is you get your, these ones you don't gap. You don't gap these unless you've got some mental brake horsepower car that probably asks for it to be gapped, but for this application you don't gap them. You just pop them around like that. As I say, they do a proper tool for you to put your rings on. That's what I'm saying there. Look, see we're starting to overlap. You don't want that. Come on, you fucker. Right, let's try this again. Don't want to play ball. Does not want to play ball. So. There what I do. I'll take it back off. Hopefully I've stopped it from fucking moving. Do. Take that out. Take that out. Right, I'll peek over in a minute. Right, so there's a bit of a fiddly fuck up when we worked it out. So put this on first, like so. Bottom ring goes on first. They're just tight all rings. That's probably why. So it goes on like that. Don't know if you can see how well you can see it, but basically one goes below the bottom of that ring. Yeah, basically it goes below the bottom. Now I'll put the camera on, can't do it. So you've got one that sits at the bottom of said piston, As I say, they do make a tool that you could just spread them and that. I don't actually own one. I've always just done it this way. That sits in there like that. Goes over said ring. Like that. Brush. Just like that. And then you get the other one. And then you repeat the process on the top. Like that. And that is the oil rings all on. Yeah, same again. Top ring says top. So this is a secondary ring. Goes like this. Like so. And then your top ring, which will say top on it already. So top goes top. Pretty self-explanatory. And then you just wheel them around, be gentle with them, otherwise they will break. And then that is how you fit a piston ring to a piston. So that's 3 done. I've got 1 more to go. Yeah, so got my drink, Kim Fittle Glob. She actually gave that to Emily. So yeah, alright. I'm going to do the other one off camera and then show you how to really put the piston rings to the right place, oil them up, compress them, and then I'll show you how to tap them into the block. We'll go from there. See you in a minute. Right, so this is piston ring orientation 101. So basically you'll get little slots on the end of the pistons. All you want to do is top ring goes to the bottom one and the other one goes to the other side, and you step it basically so that when the oil goes in there it's got a step instead of just going straight down. They'll give you a blow by. So this is just basically gives it a step and then stops all the oil going straight to the bore. So yeah, that's that. So this goes in like that. So I will clean my hands off, scrunch it all down, and then all you do is just tap them in. But when we go to do that, I'll show you. Right then, so I've got the compressor, the piston ring compressor already on there. We've done. All right, let's try this again. So we've just done the piston ring orientation. I've already put 3 pistons in so far, just because I wanted to make sure they was right before I actually show you how to do it. Make myself look like a fucking idiot. It's currently 12:30 at night. So what you do, give it a tap, make sure she's happy, all seated, give it a little nick down, just make sure the rings are where they're supposed to be, and all you do, end of your hammer, make sure it's not a metal one, wooden one, and you just give it a couple of taps, and that's it. That's how to install a piston. And then in all fairness, that's probably the most, push it all the way down, vice versa for the other one. That's probably the most scariest bit about building an engine, is putting the pistons in. Because you break a ring, you have to buy new rings. So it's one of them really. Yeah, usually I do it off camera, but I'm trying to do the best I can for you, step by step. So that's for all 4 gaps. And this block actually had what I wanted. Also I did that off camera because so I knocked at the door. I'm getting tired now, been up pages. So I've done a day's work. When I come home, well, I've been over the yard, helped Dad get loaded, and then I had a bright idea that I was going to build an engine in the kitchen. And here we are. This paint's shocking. So yeah, let's get it flipped over and then put the bearings in. So the bearings, same again, same what I said before with them. Get rid of the old ones. So basically, same as I said before, you literally put it in that little locator that it's got there, like so. Make sure it's all flush, and then that's the one I was saying about, same with the caps. Obviously this is cylinder free, so just roll it over. Ooh, hello. There's me thing I was standing on it. And we roll her over. Bosh. That's how we like it. We need another bearing. Let's get it out of the way. So we need to roll that under there, like so. There's that one. And that one there. Put a bit of assembly lube on those. Oh, hello, Tarilla. Assembly lube on these. Like that. Then pull these up tight. Is that one locked in? Right, that's all on. That little wipe off just in case. You want no debris going in there. There's that. More assembly lube. Always do both sides of the bearing. More you put on it, better it help it on first start up. Obviously, like I say, this one ain't going to be run for a little while. Yeah. I think if you would have seen this engine when I first got it, it literally come out of a bush. Literally. A bloody bush. So. That's that. More assembly lube. If you've not already put it on there, what's this? Cylinder 2. And the tang bit, remember I said, goes like that. The piston's got to come up more. Vice versa, same on this one. Don't know why I'm lubing it up again. I've already just done the crank. But make sure I've got no debris in it. Beautiful. Tang goes on that bit there. There we go. Put these in. Always do hand tight. Remember what I said? Put them in with your fingers. You send them in with a gun, you're only going to regret it later, especially if it's not right. Always start them off with your fingers. And that's easy nowadays to pick up a cordless gun and send a roam, but if you want to do it properly, fingers first. You can find a thread and then screw it in with a 13mm, like said one here. And that way you ain't nipping them up, you're only nipping them up, so you ain't actually doing your torque setting beforehand. See, like there, feel it just nip up. Same with that one. That cap's now centred. There you go. There you go. Right. So now these ones call for 25 Newton meters. Big fancy to get in there. Right, now it comes with a magic torque wrench again. So these ones call for 25 Newton meters. If it ever wants to go down. Dong. How you doing? It's me from future again. I'll keep doing this. For some reason I deleted the clip again. I don't know why, but it's probably because it's been like 4 weeks or something since I filmed this video. So I don't know why it cut out, but the rod bolts are 25 Newton meters and then 35 degrees. And the oil pump, because it skipped the frame for some reason, the oil pump, you have to be careful you don't pinch the O-ring. You'll see what I mean when you go to put it on, obviously with the gasket and everything like that, when it all pick up tube and everything. So yeah, sorry about that. Roll back on. Well, so as I said on a previous video, when we done Baz's engine, the oil pumps. So what I do to make sure they're all good is you've got Allen keys on the back of these pumps, and there's a spring somewhere around here, I can't remember off the top of my head without looking, and it gets stuck, and then that'll cause you to lose oil pressure and things like that. Also, because obviously it runs on a crank, so I always change the front main seal out, everything like that. I've done this one previous just to make things a bit faster. One thing I will say, never ever forget that gasket if you ever take that off, because that will kill your engine, because what it does is that seals up the oil pickup, and if it leaks, end off, you lose oil pressure. So, and they're like hen's teeth to find as well. So if you find one, keep it. But like literally it goes on there, job done, and then the oil tube goes on it. Cut 10 mils, make sure they're tight, lock tight, things like that, just so they don't come off. Last thing you want is your oil be pumping and then that comes loose, oil pickup falls off, you're all for a bad day. So yeah, so that's that. Obviously previous to this I already cleaned all this at work. So I used these strainers, ones with a lot of the metal ends, compared to that type, because they're just old, they're squashed like that, they're squashed, so they ain't really doing that full. So I use these ones. So it still does a wire mesh in the inside, but it's got like a little cage around it so that it don't get squashed. So if you do drop your engine or something hits it or vice versa, it don't squash the mesh. They're my go-to. They're quite hard to get hold of. so you just clean them up best you can. So yeah, I'm going to bolt this to that, just literally a gasket and do 10 mils, and then we'll put it on the front and we'll go from there. Right, so it's a couple of days later after we assembled the bottom end. So I don't know where I left off, but I forgot to put the water pump in like I did before I put the black casing on. So put the water pump in before you do the black casing. Note to self. So it's all done now anyway. I've got the head gasket. I'm using the L-ring head gasket. Usually it's whatever I can get. L-ring's usually my go-to. Right, so it's again without the battery dying. These GoPro batteries, I'm telling you, are absolute freaking nightmare at the moment. So head gasket's on. I'm using the L-ring head gasket on this one. Buzzer's one, we use the BGA. It's just basically whatever we can get our hands on at the time, whatever comes quickest for the post. Because obviously, not many people stock parts for these engines no more. So you just got to get them for wherever sort of thing. I'm using a Febi head bolt kit. I say OEM equivalent, just whatever I can get hold of. And if you are doing your head gasket, keep these washers because you cannot buy them. So if you have these washers, don't lose them because you probably won't find them again. This is off another head that I had laying around, which is obviously no good. So yeah, right, hang on 2 seconds. I've got one here somewhere. So the other night, the reason we do, the honest truth why I never finished this engine is because I actually never finished the cylinder head. Me being me, I got one that I started doing, and then it turned out that the valve guide has snapped. So I had to order a valve guide, and I was like, I need to finish this engine. What can I do? I know, I've got another one over the yard. Had no valves in it, no nothing. Lucky enough, we had an old Martin Chater head laying around, which burnt out. I think I've got it here actually. Which burnt out the port just there for a head gasket failure, and obviously that one ain't no good. So being I'm putting the Martin Chater head back on it, I took the valves out of that one and relapped them into this one with new valve stem seals and everything like that. The valve stem seals themselves, all you do, what I do, is I get a 10mm socket and I tap it on. A little bit of lube, tap it on till you hear the note change, and then that's it. And then all you do is you reseat the valves. Valve springs and retainers and the collets. And then basically what I do is, because I haven't got a pressure tester or anything like that, I put a bit of brake cleaner down the cylinders, and then I see if it leaks through. If it doesn't leak through or wet or anything like that, to me that's a good seat. Without doing a leak down test after and things like that, but the way I've done it for years and I've never had a problem with it. I've also done numerous other cars the exact same, and I've always made good power for what application we run on them. But yeah, so this is a Martin Chater head originally. I say originally. It has been, yeah, basically the bottom end deck, the top end. This is basically on its limit, this head. So it's got one last run in it, and then it's scrap, basically. I think it's measuring at 94.17, so it's just a bit over. You might get another pass out of it, but then you are borderline, you are on the deck, sort of thing. So yeah, basically that. So obviously don't forget to put your head gasket on. I have seen that before. Don't be that guy. Me personally, I've never done it, but I have seen it done. So yeah, basically with this one, everything on this engine is obviously brand new. It just don't look as smart as Baz's one, but this is my engine, so I'm not really bothered. I am bothered, but I'm not bothered, if that makes sense. So with this, what you do, put the washer on it like that. These ones haven't got the E-Torx. These are like an 18mm, I think they are. Head bolt. I prefer these ones. Oh, I was trying to put it in, I put the cam box on. Being an idiot. So basically, yeah, washer goes on like that. Job done. Obviously, put your cam box on first before you try doing all that. I'm so used to building micros at the moment. I think I had to head off of my one like 4 or 5 times. So we couldn't do it, it's just one of them. Like 1 minute I had a piston ring failure, and then we put it back together, and then I was like, I'm braking the car. So I took the head off, and turned out the valve guides are gone. And then from that, we sold it. So, as you can tell, we're out of a K10 now, we're back into a Vauxhall, so we love it. When we do the other engine, for my class 5, we're using ARPs. What's going in here, pal? 10. Do you know what I was saying about don't miss the head bolts? I'm missing 2. I bought 8 washers, not 10. What's it? So, we are royally screwed. Unless I find some in the van. Bear me a moment. Right, because I was a sausage, I just had to run over to my yard, which is like yard, which is 20 minutes away, just to go get 2 more washers. So you need 10, not 8. What a fucking idiot. We all know it. So, let's get back to it. So, we need what we have in this box, and that is hydraulic lifters. So, these ones just happen to be in a brand new box I had laying over the yard. I think these are 1600 ones, I'm hoping no fit. Which they do. So, yeah. So all you do with this is, there's a little indent there. I don't know if you can see it, there's that little dot. And inside the head, when you're assembling this, you will see a little dot. So what I usually do is line that up best you can with that dot, so that it goes in like that. And then you do that throughout the whole of the 8 that you got, and then you put the rockers on top. I'm quick do that because I want to make sure they're all good, because they're, as I say, they are literally straight out of the box, and then we'll go from there. See in a minute. Right, so I've got all the lifters in, all the rockers are in. I'm now using assembly lube on the top of the rockers, basically, because obviously everything's going to be dry when it first starts. So yeah, it's basically, because I don't know when I'm going to start this engine, I want to just keep it lubed up as such, just like that. Oh, if it ever wants to stay in there. There we go. And then this one just here. So I pre-lubed all this just a second ago, but a bit of assembly lube on the top there as well, just on the pads. And then when you rotate the pan, that should all be nice. I did put the lifters in, but I used a bit of oil as well. There is like little indents that go into them. You'll see when you, if you do build one, you'll see if you poke your head in, there's like a little round hole, and the holes have to line up. Don't know if I said that, but then you push it in, put a bit of oil in it, push it in, and it comes up. It should come out the hole, which is what you want. Then obviously cam box with the cam. So this is a cam that's already been redone in the box and everything like that. I'll just lube it up. Just a bit of assembly lube on the cam. Just so I ain't dry when it all touches. Especially on the lobes. As such. I have seen these cam boxes seize up before. More the merrier. And then, like I see there, it's all lubed up. So that's that all done. It's all ready to go. So with these, they don't, make sure you've always got your dowels in them as well. So with these, they don't actually come with a gasket, so you have to use sealant. My go-to at the moment is just wind stuff. So sump sealant, I only buy sump sealant. It just seals up better. So obviously if you're going to take a sump, it's going to take this as such. Just enough to make a nice bead. Because if you don't do this, it will 100% leak. Around there, yeah, around there. I've had them before. When I was first building these engines, I never did them. And I was like, why is it leaking? And I tried finding a gasket for it, and there was no such thing. I say, that was years ago when I learned that. I learned that the hard way, I did. But if you don't have a go, you will never know. You don't want too much, just want enough to make a bead. Because obviously whatever spurts out the outside goes in the inside. And you don't want it on the inside. But if you do get it on the inside, ain't the end of the world. Just don't go crazy with it. And there is an oil gallery on the top as well, so don't block that. Otherwise you will be in for a bad day. You'll see what I mean, it's right by a lifter. Right. And that, just make sure all these are on where they're supposed to be, don't move. So when your engine's all said and done, it should look like that. Like this. And that's the one I said about over there. There's like a little dot, don't cover that. Or that one there. Or these. So that's it, everywhere I've covered it, it's where you need to cover it. And then from there, is when we put the cam box on. Cam box goes on. Is that one? Yeah. Cam box goes on that way. And I've put the rocker cover on wrong. So obviously it's got dowels it sits in. And then head bolts. So, because this obviously come out of a Bush's engine, I re-tapped all the head bolts as well, just to make sure that it was spot on. All the threads are fine on it and everything like that. So we've got here. Right, let's have a look. See if this hits, which it doesn't. Fantastic. Okay, right. Bear me a moment, I've got to find the socket. Ta-da! Found one. Basically snug it down by hand. I usually run them down with a little impact gun, but I haven't got one with me. So snug it down by hand. Obviously there is a pattern to do it. Use the same way when you salt it up, but oh yeah, one thing I did say, I forgot to say, don't leave your pistons at top dead centre, because obviously you will make a mess of your pistons. I usually leave them about halfway down the bore, just so like, obviously when you go to torque the engine, you're not putting, like now, see like now where we're torquing it down, you're pushing the valves down, so yeah, you don't do that. Have it halfway off top dead centre, and that way you won't hit no interference or anything like that. Otherwise you'll be on for a bad day, you have to strip it down, retake your valves out and all sorts. And no one wants that. I have just noticed I'm missing the timing cover for the top. I don't know why you would ever take that off, but I haven't got that. Alright, I'll leave it here, I'll get this all snugged up and then be back. Right, so I've got it all snugged down now. That's pretty much where it needs to be. So we're nearly at a long block. So this is the instructions from L-Ring itself on how to do the timing, that head to a sequence. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then your first sequence is 25 Newton meters, then tighten it 60 degrees, 60 degrees. This asks to be done 30 degrees, run it 15 minutes and then another 30 degrees. I don't do it like that. I usually go by the Haynes manual. So the Haynes manual tells you 25 Newton meters and 3 rounds of 60 degrees. That's the way I've always done it. Never had a problem with it, and that's the way I'm going to do it now. So I'd rather go by the man that actually made the engine originally, i.e. GM. So yeah, so we've got a 25 Newton meters. Out comes a fancy torque wrench again. 25 newton meters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we do 3 rounds of 60 degrees. So put it on the angle. Probably don't like it because it's not straight, it's not level. It's the only thing with these snap-on ones, you have to keep them level. Don't like it otherwise. So, there we go. So up to 60 degrees, and then we repeat the process. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, and then we do it again. So this is the second pass, 60 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the last one. So it's a third pass. 1, does get tighter now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10, and that is now a fully assembled long block. So as it stands at the moment, that is all done. So all I usually do is wipe away the excess along the head. Don't have to, but just looks a bit smarter. Don't look as flash as Barry's engine. But it definitely do the job, that's for sure. So, fully assembled long block. All we've got to do now is the timing side to it. I am missing the front timing gear cover. So I'll leave you here, bring someone who lives down the road that probably have one, and then come back and then we'll time it up. So I'll see you in a minute. Right, so I've just gone to go time this engine up, and it turns out that I've been given the wrong cam belt. So yeah, this basically it's just shafted me. But in order to time these up, basically you'll have a mark on the crank here which has got a line with that. You can't time this up without having that. So you've got one there, and obviously with the case you'll have a case here and have a timing mark on the top, and then that one I have to line up with that one. I've just noticed I haven't got that neither, so that's pretty much just done me rotten. But as such, that is how you time. If you go back onto the following video of building Baz's engine, that actually has the timing marks and everything like that on that. So that is how to build a long block. And then obviously if you flick through, probably scroll down somewhere along the line, or go on Baz's video that I did with his Nova, the timing marks are on there, how to time it up. I'm pretty gutted really that I can't time it up for you. It's kind of annoying. So yeah, anyway, that's how to build your short block. It was supposed to be a how-to and how to do everything, but I haven't got the right cam belt and I haven't got the right timing kit for it. So what I might do, build this to your long block, and then when the cam belt and everything turns up, I'll do a video on how to time up one. I think I did one years ago actually. If you go back through the videos, there is actually a timing mark. I had to time one of these up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was. So yeah, anyway, flick through that and then you'll find out how to time them up. But I'm going to leave this here. What's going on here? I'm going to leave this one here, just because I've got to go pick Litland up, and we ain't got the right timing components, but I need to get a video done for you. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. A little step-by-step on how to build the bottom end and the top belt, torque settings, everything like that to build your 1300, put in Nova if you do decide to build one. I hope it was useful for you. So yeah, anyway, maybe we'll do a video on how to time it up on another one. So I'm pretty gutted about that actually, it's kind of annoying me. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave this one here. We'll leave this one here, and then yeah, we'll move on to something else in a bit. Yeah, I'm just jabbering now anyway. So if you give us a like, comment, subscribe. If you did like this one, or if it was any interest here, drop it in the comments, and I'll see you in the video. Scratch that, I'm back. So I managed to find the right cam gear. Turns out I had the wrong cam gear on the top for some reason. I don't know why, or where it come from, or how it got into my box of stuff. I had the wrong cam gear. So imagine there's a plate here, a black one. You have like a little cutout line. Now that will line up to. So basically what you do is detension water pump, which is down here. Let's have a look. You detension your water pump, which is down here. So then that'll move nice and free. You make sure your crank's on TDC, which is that little mark there with that. And then what I do, so I always put the tension through this side first, like so, because you want the tension on the water pump, like, I'm fighting with it now. 2 seconds. Bit fiddly. Like that. Right, there we go. So I've got all the tension on this side, and that's not what you want. So what you do is take it off, run it round the tooth, like so, and then with me a moment. You tighten it up on your water pump, just here, making sure your timing marks haven't moved. So obviously you've got one there and one at the top, like so. And you want about a quarter of a turn in your belt. See this slack there. Bear me a second and I'll be back. Right, so I'm back. So what you do is you get your pipe grips and then you twist your water pump like so. Because your water pump's your tensioner on this, on your belt. Like so. It's a little bit too tight. So you get about a quarter of a turn in it. And you get your Allen keys. And then you just tighten up your Allen key. Because these are what keeps the water pump tight. Like so. Got one there. And then you should have one in there. One's tight. Obviously, I usually have better tools in this, but I'm at home and making do what I've got. Just to make it a video. So that's tight. So now bar rides, that is timed up. Obviously, top mark goes to your top casing, and then your bottom mark there goes to that one just down there. And then obviously, bearing in mind, I haven't got that. I just done it by eye. Lost it. I think I'm a tooth out, to be honest with you. And then you just turn it over twice. And if I'm to be honest, I think I've got that spot on. No, I'm a tooth out. See up here? I'm a tooth out. So regardless, this has got to come off again anyway. What you could do at this point now is detension the water pump. Actually, I'll do it for you, which I thought I might be a tooth out because I haven't got the right type cam gear on the top. So what we do, and it probably helps that because we had the slack on that side as well. So what it do is undo that. Undo this. Just have that one in there. Undo that, should be loosening. Pull the cam belt off. 2 seconds. I said I was going to be a tooth off, didn't I? Anyone think I've done this before? need to find this socket that I just turned that one over with. And then bring that back a tooth, which would be about there. Then reinstall said cam belt. Like that. And this time, if you see there, all the tension is now on the water pump, which is what we wanted to start off with. See there, all tension on the water pump. So that one's still there, that one's still there. Get our pliers. Same again. A quarter of a turn. Tighten it back up. Obviously I know the bottom one's loose, but I ain't too bothered about it. Just got to take the cam belt off again anyway. This is more for you sort of thing. So now we've got the time mark at the top, time mark at the bottom, and then we turn it over again. Always go around twice, 2 times. Which is full 360 degrees. And I'll go around again. As you can tell, we are not hitting nothing. So that is basically how you time your engine up. So yeah, don't put that back up there. Job done. That is how you time up your 1300 SR. So yeah, now I've got to take all the cam belt back off this because I've got to put the plate up the top, and then yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it here. I'll leave it with you, and I'm glad we found the right cam sprocket to do it. So anyway, just like, comment, subscribe, and see you soon. To the bizzle.